threat we've been reporting on in the Islamic Center in the San Diego area, according to police now, has been, quote, neutralized. Okay, the San Diego police putting out an alert moments ago saying the threat at this center has been neutralized, and they are telling the media to go to an established staging area that they have close to this, and I'm hoping that that means that they will have an update for the media once they are set up there. But we wanted to pass that along while we were covering the fire to the north of this location, that the situation in Southern California has an update. So for those just joining us, there was a active shooter situation reported just before noon local time at the largest mosque in San Diego County. The Islamic Cultural Center there in San Diego that has a school as well attached to the Cultural Center and mosque has since then been the subject of a large police presence and investigation. First, there was an active shooter being investigated. That's what the police told us. Then there was a situation that had been contained. We were wondering what that had meant. We could see that the law enforcement officials were moving on the scene and moving very aggressively at times, that the armored vehicles had been called in and that the young people that were there were being moved out. And now we're being told by the San Diego Police Department that the threat that had been presented, they don't tell us who presented that threat, but the threat has now been neutralized. So that is an update on this center. Tracy Walder, who was with us earlier, talked about how this center in San Diego had been the subject of threats in the post-9/11 era. There was also an incident there where there were threats called in, and about a decade ago in 2015, which just led to an announcement from community leaders that they called for an increased police presence, but did not seem that it went to the level that we're seeing today. But that's the San Diego Police Department social media message that came out on X. And again, mentioned earlier, this is Ekstrom Avenue right off the 805 freeway. Still active but contained, and they were talking about having significant resources on the scene at the time. Since then, they've sent out a new message that updates that situation to say not only is it still active and contained, but that the threat has been neutralized. So again, that is now some dated information on the screen from the police in San Diego, but because they say that they've neutralized the threat. Now, what does that mean? Well, we saw many of the police officers surrounding, guns drawn, by the way, long guns at times, and especially in the initial live pictures that were coming in from the helicopter, the news chopper up above from our NewsNation station in the area. We had to be careful with some of that. Now, this is all tape footage that we're showing you because we didn't know what would happen in real time, but there were live, long guns being drawn, police moving in an aggressive manner to get into position, running, as you see at the top of your screen there, as they were earlier, and moving from one position to another as clearly communication came in from their colleagues that there was a threat or some area that needed to be covered, and they were moving to cover that area. At some point, whoever was presenting that threat, whether it was one person or more than one person, ended up being in a position where they were contained. We took that to believe possibly, as Tracy speculated, that they were surrounded and pushed back, or something else. And then moments later, we got the next message in from the police is that threat had been neutralized. So that clearly is an update and a progression in this situation. So you have, questions now that'll develop as to, what happened, right? Like, how did we get to this situation? There was a morning prayer session that would have concluded, afternoon prayer that would not have begun yet. So it was in between those two times when the threat was first called in that the situation developed. So it wouldn't have been in an active, meeting of the congregation there at the mosque necessarily. It would have been in between the midday and the afternoon prayer, and we don't even know, had one person moved in, had more than one person moved in, we're not sure. But we do know that the threat has been, quote, neutral.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.